everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Angela of Morbid Designs, horror movie reviews, art videos, and sometimes they're the same thing. But today is not. We're going to be talking about another movie that I watched during the quarantine. So this is unofficially by Shudder. I just give them a shout out as always when I review one of their movies that I watched during their 33 days during shut-in. And I really appreciate they offered that code and thoroughly enjoyed a lot of the things that I watched. So this is going to be another one of them. And it is, from what I've understood, even though it's way older than me, is a classic. And this movie is The Changeling from 1980. This movie is directed by Peter Madoc, stars George C. Scott, Trish Van Devere, and Melvin Douglas. Simplistic plot of this gentleman loses his family in a tragic accident. He takes a moves into a historic building, just so happens to be haunted, but nobody wants to talk about it, and he doesn't know for a little while. But shit gets real. They have a seance, things come out, and it ends up being a murder mystery. And I have no issues with it, honestly. I mean, of course it's a little bit slower, but it really actually held up over time. It may have been more scary back then, but it was definitely a really good suspense thriller kind of a movie, trying to figure out what's going on, what the ghost wants, natural elements to it. The acting was standard for its time, not necessarily holding up, but that's one thing I do willing to let go on a lot of older movies because it was standard for what was expected out of actors at the time. Definitely a slow burn of a movie, but I enjoyed it. I was intrigued with the characters and the situation, so I think they did a really good job of the pacing of the movie despite it being slow, with revealing things to keep you intrigued. And since this is actually filmed where I live and where I spend a lot of my time in Seattle, it is surprising how much Seattle has changed. Like, Seattle now is nothing like what you see in that. One of the buildings they go into is actually one I used to work right next to. I would play Pokemon Go right outside that building, walking around, waiting for my bus home after work, which is fucking crazy to see. My mind went... If you're not into mysteries and thrillers, this is not a movie for you. This movie is an award-winning horror movie, so definitely consider it. With that being said, I do give this one 5 out of 5 Zombieverse, even though it is older than me. I hope you don't mind this is such a short review, but there's not a whole lot to say about this movie. Thank you as always, patrons. You are all fabulous. And from yours, have a wonderful day, and please for my next video,